Okay, so we've been working on the Canvas Starter app, and I just really quickly wanted to show how we move changes that we've made to Canvas Starter app into the projects that are derived from Canvas Starter app. Because that's the whole idea, is that we can make generic changes in one place and then pull them into our other projects relatively quickly. So you can see I've already done all my commits on the Canvas Starter app, and I've pushed those up. So now I go to the other app that depends on it. And if you do, let's see, there we go. If we look at the config file for Git, you can see, oh, this is Canvas Starter app still, sorry, one sec. Oh, no.
You just haven't added
this
an upstream.
This one does not have an upstream. Okay, so we'll go ahead and add the upstream to that. And the way that I do it is I always just open up the Git config. There's a command line to do this, but this is just as easy for me. I can add the upstream, and then this origin right here becomes upstream. And I believe that this code is actually on GitHub, isn't it? Isn't that where the Canvas Starter app lives?
Yeah.
So github.com, probably Atomic Jolt, and
Canvas Starter. Yeah.
Canvas Starter. Okay, so there is a Git command. It's like git add upstream, add remote, and then you give it the name. So in this case, we choose the name upstream. You could call it anything you want. It's just upstream is the standard we've used, so that's kind of handy. All right, so now if I go back to my project, this seeding chart right here, I can do a git fetch upstream master. There we go. Git fetch upstream master, no slash between them. Okay, so now I have all of those changes from the Canvas Starter app available to me on a branch. Let's see. I'm going to move this up so it's a little easier to see. Okay, so if I look at all my branches, you can see that there is this remote upstream master branch. And let's make sure I don't have any outstanding changes in my current branch. I don't. I'm going to make sure I have the latest code from the seeding chart app, which I do. And then I can just do
This
git.
is important because he's preferred. You'll merge twice if you don't have the latest, right?
Yeah, you want to make sure you have the latest code. Otherwise, you're going to have all kinds of issues. Yeah, because you're going to merge the Canvas Starter app into your master branch, and then you're going to do a git pull rebase, and then you're going to have a whole slew of crap to deal with. Frequently, anyway, especially if you have merge conflicts. So I can now do git merge upstream master. I think I do it this way this time. Git merge upstream master, because that's the name of the branch. Anyway, so now you can see I have conflicts. So don't need to panic as long as you have a tool installed. So I have this merge tool installed. So just type git merge tool. It'll say, do you want to do the merge or deal with merge conflicts in account RB? Just hit enter and it'll pull it up. Okay, so I can see that we've had changes on the application side, the child app, the seeding chart app in this case.
You think the text just a little bit bigger?
You bet. Maybe.
It's not terrible. Just move.
Yeah. For some reason, this app is not responding to making it larger. There's probably some other trick. But anyway. The takeaway is you want to keep the stuff in the child app. A lot of times, the app that is derived from Canvas Starter app is going to have a lot of changes in it. So when you're doing these merges, you want to make sure that all those changes stick around. And in this case, the merge tool picked the right one. It picked the local changes. Okay, so then right here, we can see we have a merge conflict. And I have to pick one or the other. And it just so happens that in this specific case, this is the method that I fixed. So I know that choosing the one on the right, so I can come over here and I can say choose right, that's the one I want. In some cases, when it merges, it'll think that you've replaced a method when actually you haven't. Maybe I want both of those methods. So I can come over here and I can say choose both, and I can say make the left changes show up first, or I can make the right ones show up first. So I'll just show you real quick. So if I choose left first, you can see this method right here is now down here in this code, and then we have the other basic LTI. I can also say choose right first, and that'll swap them. In this case, we really only care about choosing the one on the right, so I'm going to do that. You can also come in here and edit this code. So if it gets pretty close, but the commit's just not quite right, you can go in and edit things by hand. All right, so I'm going to save this. You can do File Save or Command S, and then just quit, and now it should be merged. So now we move on to the next one. All right, so this one is more significant. In the Canvas Starter app, we made some changes to add instructions. And it looks like we had those same instructions already in the derivative app. So I can just pick one or the other, probably, and I'm going to pick the changes on the right.
So you notice that says if signed in. What's the difference on the left? Do you want that or not?
I don't. We decided that you want to be able to get these instructions, whether you're signed in or not.
Okay.
And then at the end of the day, you're probably going to delete this stuff, right? You're probably going to delete the instructions and build your real application. So I figure we should show it to them no matter what. All right, so I'm going to save that, and then I'm going to quit. All right, so now if I do a git status, you can see that we're in this state where we've done all the merging, the conflicts are fixed, but we have to finish. So now I do a git
comment before you go on.
Okay.
You could have done that all manually by just opening those files in Sublime, and you'll see the markers that say the old and the new. And you could resolve it, right? But then you just do a git add, and you add that file after you manually done the merge.
Yeah, and so
you don't want to commit it because that'll put you in a weird state. You just want to add it.
Yeah.
But I assume that's what that diff tool did.
Yeah, the diff tool adds them. So you see on my machine they all show up green. That means they're ready to be committed. They've already been added, so I can just do the commit message. Oops.
Okay, I was actually thinking about the rebase process. So if you go through a rebase process, it's replaying each commit. And so you may have merge conflicts in each commit.
That's true. Yeah, when you do the merge with the upstream, we typically do a merge rather than a rebase. That's worked better so far.
Yeah.
When you do yeah. When you do a git pull, so you're bringing down other people's changes, that's when you want to typically do a rebase. And yeah, you'll run into some merge conflicts on occasion. So you'll fix those, and then on the command line you would type git rebase -- continue, and that would continue to move you through the commits, and you can continue to deal with each specific merge. Don't want to do that right now because we're in the middle of a commit. And this is what Joel was talking about. When you have these merge conflicts, you'll see these .orig files, the original files, and these will contain the conflicts. So you can see the one file had this method, the one branch had this code in it, the other had this code in it. After you're done with the merging, you can delete these things. In fact, you'll typically want to, because they'll just clutter up your directory.
Well, I think it's your merge tool that created those files, because those don't get created automatically.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's good to know, because I've just always used this merge tool. So, all right, so we can do a git commit here, and it will say, we merged in this upstream. There were these conflicts. Here are the changes. I'll just accept that message, and then just write quit, and you can see we're done. I can push that up now, and now all of those changes that were originally part of Canvas Starter app are now in our derivative app, and they're available for everybody to go out and work on. Okay. Any questions about that process?
Just a thought on like merge versus rebase. Like, commits as cards. Merge is basically shuffling it in a very sophisticated way. It figures out which came when. Rebase is like taking a stack of cards and like dropping along the top.
Yes. Yeah. So just for the sake of the recording, I'll say that again because that's a pretty good analogy. A merge is like shuffling your cards in the most logical pattern possible, versus a rebase, which takes all of your cards off the deck, puts everybody else's cards on, and then plays yours on top of the deck. Did I say that right?
More or less, if it helps.
Okay. Yeah.
Just confuses you, forget I said anything.
That's all right. Okay. Any other questions? Okay. Thanks, you guys.
Thanks.